Rick's Smiley Morning Show. Listen, man, this is real important. I want to encourage everybody, I don't care what you're doing or what you're going through, go and get therapy. Go and get help. Hey, if your knee hurt, you go to the doctor, right? If you break your leg, you go to the doctor. You hurt your arm, break your arm, something, you go to the doctor. You get sick, you go to the doctor. But nobody ever go to the doctor for their mind. The brain is a muscle, just like every other, everything else in your body. The brain is a muscle, and sometimes things affect the brain. So you need to make sure that you go and get therapy and go get help. I don't care if you had a death in the family, something happened to you as a kid, and now you're an adult or whatever, and you never really dealt with it. Go and sit down and talk to someone and get therapy. I believe in therapy. I'm so happy to have Yunetta Spring this morning. It's Talking Out Tuesday. Please help me welcome licensed professional counselor Yunetta Spring.
Good morning. Good morning, Rickey. Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning?
Man, we good. Glad to have you this morning. A lot of stuff going on. Now, a lot of stuff going on in the news. Let's unpack some of this stuff. Now, most people agree that Kanye West is in a desperate need of mental health treatment after some outrageous comments he made during a so-called presidential rally in South Carolina on Sunday. What are your thoughts on that or whatever? And what do you see just from being a fan?
Yeah, my thoughts on that is it was concerning. It was concerning seeing what I saw. And I know a lot of other people were concerned too. I don't know, I know he's shared about being bipolar. I'm not sure if he is actively receiving treatment based on what I saw.
Well, he says, actually, Yunetta, that he doesn't prefer to take his medication. And so people that suffer from bipolar disorder that don't take their medicine, is this what we are supposed to expect? Yeah,
oftentimes this is kind of what it looks like, where there's like that pressured speech where you're speaking very rapidly. A manic state is just like a heightened state of emotion. So you are just constantly talking, racing thoughts, just bouncing everywhere. Sometimes you feel like a superhero, like you could just take on the world. A lot of things really don't make sense or don't connect. So it is very concerning. I know a lot of people are concerned with, like, what do I do? Like if I have a family member or a friend that's presenting in a way that seems bizarre or seems out of character, or that they may not be, they may necessarily like need some additional help. Like, how do I help them? That's what's been coming up a lot. Have you guys been seeing people ask questions like that too?
Absolutely. I mean, I have. And I have a question. What do you do when you have someone that you love, that have outbursts and episodes that are beyond just regular frustration? And you can tell that there is something bigger than just regular irritation. How do you get them help, especially if they don't feel like they need help, but they do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Now, I have like some tips. We may not be able to get into all of them, but I'll share a few of them. The first is, one of them is really making sure you have a good relationship with them, right? The relationship you have with that person is important. So people listen to people who they feel connected to, people who they feel like they could trust. So if it's a family member and you're the family member that is always in conflict with this person and the relationship is strained, you may not be the person to talk to them, right? So you may have to find somebody who they trust within the family, or you may have to reach out to one of their friends to sit them down and talk to them about what's going on. The next thing is really telling them what you, understanding the timing of it, right? If they are in an active manic state, or if they are actively just out there, they may not be mentally capable to hear what you have to say, right? So you may want to reach out to them when they are more open, or when they are more balanced, than waiting until the crisis is there. Sometimes we wait until the bottom falls out before we address issues. But you've kind of been knowing that this person has had a problem for a while, but you don't want to address it until they're actively in a state, in a manic state. So really paying attention to the timing, that's important as well.
And the people, I'm sorry, people like Kanye, it's hard for him to trust anybody, like most of us celebrities. And then when you go talk to somebody, it's like, okay, you got to worry about, is this going to get out? Is that going to get out? I know it's client privilege and all that stuff, or the NDA and all that, but still, somehow it gets out. If it's not the doctor, it could be a worker that works there. So maybe he don't want people to have an absolute confirmation that he is bipolar, and he wants to keep using this, and it helps people talk about him every day, because we do it. So, what do we do as far as trusting somebody? You don't want to talk to somebody because they're going to judge you, or they're going to feel bad about you, or feel sad. So it's just hard to trust for people like us.
It is, and it's sad that it's like that. And I think with trust, it comes the fact that there's so much stigma around mental illness. Like, that's why we have to break the stigma, because people are trying to hide this because they're ashamed of it. But if we were able to talk about it and not be ashamed and know that this is a natural and normal thing, then there wouldn't be so much, hoopla around,
right, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Right, absolutely. Right. And then when we come to these people, we have to be able to do it in a non-judgmental way. We have to quit throwing out diagnoses left and right. You're bipolar. Okay. You're you're not a trained professional, so you can't tell somebody what they have.
Thank you.
So being able to tell them what you notice. Hey, I noticed you haven't been sleeping. I noticed you're not eating. I noticed you've kind of been amped up. What's going on? And listen to what they have to say. Right. And I think we approach it just from such a judgmental space. We know what's going on with you, and I'm telling just being more compassionate about what they're dealing with, because it's hard.
Because nobody's perfect. The same right? Nobody's perfect. The same people that's judging them have the worst issues that they haven't dealt with yet.
Oftentimes, you want to judge other people because you don't want to deal with your own stuff. But we all got stuff we need to deal with.
Amen.
Yeah, that's Gary right there.
Yes. You know what, Yunetta, I will say this, honey, because I'm just sitting back listening, honey, and all of the shows are great, but this is one of the best ones. I'm listening to you, and this is
Gary,
really
why don't you do a miniature session one day with Yunetta night next Tuesday, and you talk about real quick, go and just talk about one thing that bothers you and what you thinking and what you feeling, and then let her help you and let y'all two go back and forth. Oh, I don't know. I'm just making
Rickey,
a suggestion.
You can't be laughing, though. Don't laugh.
No, I'm not going to laugh. I'll turn my mic off. I'll turn my mic off.
Okay.
I promise.
But I'm enjoying today because, I've been bipolar for over 30 years, honey, and I've been taking lithium for over 30 years after I went through all the other medicines to find out which one worked for me. Because, I went through the Cogentin, the Escalate, the Narvane, and then lithium was the one that worked. And stuff and whatever. And yes, when you don't take your medicine, honey, you do go on those highs and lows.
When you do, Gary, can you talk about when Gary was working at Wendy's, when the Wendy's was leading up to the part when he threw the chili across the restaurant at Wendy's. I want to get into when the feelings started to build, when the phone kept ringing. What was he dealing with? What was he going through? And he got frustrated
for him?
And took a whole damn pot of chili and threw it across Wendy's.
It was the phone ringing.
We'll talk about it. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna walk through this on Tuesday. Just figure out what happened. Counselor Yunetta Spring, let everybody know how you can be reached.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Spring Force Counseling. And if you want to subscribe to my mailing list, you can text the word Spring to 55444.
See, Counselor Spring, you ain't no good either because you just laughed at Gary. Get your ass off this phone.
No, I was not laughing at Gary.
That's right. I knew. That was his voice. Yes, you was.
You love you.
Love you, Gary.
Love you too, honey.